If you would. I got a thing, huh? I like that. Good thing still flies. Now the recorder is working.
Yeah.
I like this all recorded, so, Mr. Mayor.
You don't.
And I have a lot of witnesses here.
Well, we talked about it.
Remember?
Build a stand.
They hanged it right there.
There it is. Maybe that's what we should.
It'll clip on there.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, you guys just moved all of our boosters up.
This can't see through.
You moved it.
Usually comes right up.
Yeah.
I got
I am.
Or.
We're recording now.
Yeah, all right. it's fine.
All right, if you would please, stand and join me, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag, United States of America, which is a republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's get started.
Pastor Shively, would you do the invocation for us, please?
Let us pray. Almighty and ever gracious God, as we are gathered here in this place tonight, be present with us. We thank you for our town council and mayor, and we pray that as they deal with the work here this evening, Lord, that you would guide them through that. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
So, good evening and welcome, everybody. It's nice to see a lot of people here tonight.
Yes.
Usually we have one person here and that's about it. So I am going to deviate from the agenda a little bit.
And there was gonna be 1,000, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, 1,000 people wanted to come to this tonight.
Well, I'm glad they did. We wouldn't have enough room for them.
And they have me doing the honors for them.
So, the first order of business is the Delmarva Balloon Ride. Mr. Davis, are you here tonight? Could you come forward, please, to the podium? State your name and your address if you would, please, sir, for the record. Yes,
Todd Davis, 1137 Little Creek Road, Chester, Maryland, 1619.
Well, what can we do for you?
Well, there's been a chain put across. I do realize, down there at the launch field, I do realize that it's way too muddy and, I did call the town hall and I asked about it and I was told that you guys are deciding on it, I guess, for the next ballooning season. So I said, let me just come to the town meeting and see how can we can work with this and resolve everything. I've been launching here for 18 years, haven't had any problems. Any issue that there was communicated and fixed, and we're all on the same page at that point. People love it, I guess. I know at one point, a picture of a flight I did was a sunrise picture up there over the town of Greensboro. I mean, there's a lot of good things. I do pre-walk the property now and respect it before I even do anything. There are some solutions as far as driving on it that I've come to realize, but one of the big reasons that I like the area there, other than the people, I launch about 8 to 10 afternoons a year, 10 to 15 mornings. And then the greatest thing about it is the wind direction, because those big power lines are a huge thing for me. If the wind is slow and I launch over in Ridgely, I gotta get over those power lines. Sometimes I have a fear of having to try to land around those long power lines. They're big. You guys know what I'm talking about, the double power lines, the hovers. And, it's just a good launch site. And that's why I'm here to see what we can discuss and figure out and hopefully,
All right, well, thank you. So, I had the opportunity today to discuss this with the town manager and with our public works superintendent. And I think that, we and the community love seeing your balloon goes up. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Our main concern with the area down there is that, it is environmentally protected. And that, if you drive out there with your vehicle to launch your balloon and create ruts, which are unsafe then for the public to walk through there, it makes it difficult for our guys to try to cut the grass with the lawnmowers. there are only certain things that we're allowed to put out there to mitigate those ruts. So the MDE, Maryland Department of Environment, will only allow us to put certain things out there to fill those ruts in, which are fairly prohibitive, money wise. So I think the solution that we've come up with, that we hope is acceptable to you, is that if you're gonna launch, would you give Brandon, our Public Works Superintendent, a call? Say, hey, Brandon, I'm on lunch tomorrow morning. How's the ground out there? And he say, well, it's too wet, don't go today, a couple of days, or he said, it's fine, go ahead. And then that way we'll hopefully mitigate any problems. Just know that if you go out there without asking our permission first, you will be responsible for any monetary damage that is caused by your driving out there.
Okay, what if I
I like that.
text Brandon and he's busy and oh darn balloon pilot wanted to, and I don't wanna make it a job for him.
Well,
And sometimes Tommy goes out there and looks like the day before, but I know he's not with the town. And I
Well, we want you to call Brandon, and if
Okay.
Brandon's unavailable, he'll make it so that somebody else is available. You
Okay.
can reach Brandon 24/7. We always have to have somebody available in case our water problem or something like that. So you'll be able to reach somebody.
I would usually do it the night before, like the day before.
That-
And sometimes the wind changes and I don't even launch it.
That's fine. I would think that he would know from, the rain and what's going on.
I know, it's a mess. It's a disaster.
We haven't messed
So
up yet.
does that sound good
Yes, sir.
for you?
Of course.
All right,
Hey, Brandon.
Does that sound good?
Wouldn't it, just to bring it up, I know they make, on a lot of our job sites, and I know like PG&E, Delmar Power, they have those mats that they can put down to be able to drive on that don't leave the ruts. I mean, would that be something, if it was something,
You know what I mean?
I mean,
There's too much grass.
If it's soft, usually what I do, if the wind direction is kind of from the northwest to southwest, what I did last time I launched, because I knew it was a little, I didn't even drive in there. I pulled in a little bit past the fence and we set the balloon up and just pulled out. I didn't even really drive in it. So that's one thing. I mean, normally I drive around and let the balloon come out of the trailer. But in that case, Tommy and Rick were there, we pulled it out by hand,
right.
which saves me from even going in the field.
Mm-hmm.
But if that dirt is like solid rock, I'm not doing donuts in there.
Right.
I'm driving slow, cause I know, but anything I can do to.
Well, I'm assuming that we're here tonight because there was a problem.
No,
At one
I don't
point.
think there was a problem. I just,
I don't know if it was you or other people were driving out there, but that's why we put the chain up. because
yeah, I mean,
we literally can't fix it, MDE,
it's a mess.
you wouldn't believe what we went through over a park bench. So,
Jeez.
yeah,
And it
It's a
might
mess,
not
but-
have been you that caused it.
no, but there was an issue down there, that's why we put the chain up, just to keep people off of it,
I
because it's
get it.
wet.
Yeah, I mean, people, just for fun, kids will, oh, let's go have some fun down there. And then it's just, it's terrible. But what can you do? I mean, late at night, they're all drunk and high or whatever.
Okay, well, that sounds like a workable solution as long as the council is agreeable with it.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm a-
At least
We
to
haven't done
get
it
Brandon
yet.
a chance to survey the area before he goes down there.
Of course, I don't weigh it 12 pounds.
Yeah.
But if it's even questionable squishy.
Yeah.
Sorry, not doing it, because I told him that, I was like, you can't go out there. Well, because you're gonna put ruts in there.
Well,
Yeah,
and
you drive out there and there's little marks on the grass, that's one thing, but a rut, that's totally different.
by you calling Brandon, at least it gives him an idea to
Right.
get down there and look at it, because it may be ruts in there already that you don't wanna get blamed for, you know what I'm saying? So he can go down there and look at it and say, wait a minute, we got some ruts, and they're not blaming you for it,
Right.
you know?
I haven't, it's been, I mean, the last time was like a month ago when I didn't even really drive on it. We
Right.
just pulled the balloon out, cause I know, believe me, I know, but.
Yeah, we all like seeing your balloon.
Yeah, the one thing I wanna do is communicate with you.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
there's no communication, it sucks.
Yeah.
It just creates more. So, I mean, I was not launching there at all. I'm not even gonna try. There's a chain. So I gotta, obviously.
All right, well,
So if Risley is too windy and the place down here is too wet, I know I talked to Brandon, he said you're more than welcome. If you need to use the wastewater.
Right.
field
They
right
could use
there.
my property if you guys don't.
You know what I mean?
mind. I don't care.
So if
That is a-
if
you
both of
know,
those are down, you can
and he
use
wants
that.
my
I talked to
property
Brandon
to take
before, he
it.
said that's a big enough field where you could launch right
Yeah.
there.
It can be, but it's all wind direction. But yeah, it is a solution.
I mean, if those two are down.
Right. It's not, what it is with the wind direction. Like if it's a north or south direction, I don't launch in Greensboro because of the power lines. If it's a east to west direction, I gotta launch easterly. If it's the other way, usually in the morning, the winds are fast up there, so we're moving with the wind. And I've launched in Ridgely and end up in Delaware before, and I flew over the town of Greensboro. You know, so, but it's those afternoons where it's real slow and it's like, I mean, that's where your area is perfect, because it's low lying, it's surrounded by trees. But I know in the summer, we get the thunderstorms, but it's all humid and the ground is dry, but I have, you know, respected as far as walking or driving on it and, you know, over the past however long.
I remember you last time I sat up here, we had the same discussion.
Yeah. And I
But
would,
I thank you for bringing people to Greensboro, because I've been in restaurants before and I asked them where they're from and they're like, we just got off the hot air balloon.
yeah,
So I know you guys point the customers.
I tell them about Harriet Tubman and all.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
But I can get Brandon's number and we can certainly do that, and it's not gonna be every day, because like this Sunday, I'll probably go north and south direction. Ridgely, you know, the afternoon. Maybe up that way if it's flyable, but I know there's no launch in there right now. It is a disaster. I already, you
It was
know,
flooded down there earlier.
yeah, geez, I mean, it's just, it is what it is, you know? I mean,
Well, great, I'm glad we can come out with a workable solution that apparently works for everybody, so I appreciate you coming tonight, and if there's any questions, like I said, reach out to our town manager, Tammy, or Brandon, and we can work that solution.
Yeah,
And if you don't have his number, you can get it from him freely if you would like.
If you need a place, young fella, have a lot of property in Denton, all over acres, hundreds of acres. But you have to talk to the police chief and the sheriff and the town hall. Is that fine by you guys?
oh, let me just get Brandon's number right now. You know, I mean, I got a notepad here.
Brandon, do you have his number?
I'm trying to help them.
Thanks to you today. And,
If they don't want it done here, I'll let you do it on one of my phones, another one. Okay?
but, so every single time
And I don't want.
I call you or text you.
250 acres, it's a lot of acres to play with, and nothing's gonna happen, there's no line.
All right, well, thank you, so, moving on, Nick, would you like to go next?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, please,
Could I stand up?
yes, please do.
Thank you, Con. Mr. Mayor, I'm not good at this. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Commissioners, everybody in this building now, the police chief. We have a crisis here now, 3 crises. One of them is the police officers that have a contract on them for 750 grand now. Weeks ago, there been a black man at the dollar store, and I contacted the manager, Richard. So this police chief could get the cameras, and they're holding it for 45 days. He was outside handing money to everybody. I went to Camden, Delaware the other day, not to see my friend, the police chief, to bring my antique watches. Because Mr. Consul's closed. 3 black men showed up, pulled me over. I jumped out of my passenger seat and they showed a gun. They was not gonna kill me, and I did pretty good. I got them all, 3 of them. Because I'm in the best shape of my life as an old man. I followed them. I called the state police. Please forgive me. I'm upset. Money is gonna kill them all. And I met with the sheriff twice in a diner in Denton and met here, and I did not buy their lunch. I said, you all know me, you know my family and everything. And this is what I don't understand. What do you want me to do about it? I'm the godmother to Eileen Moore, who runs Moore Funeral. The Taylors, the oldest brother died, you know. They're telling them to keep quiet. She's calling me up, not to. There is hundreds of kids dying from this fentanyl. I have my granddaughter, my great kids living across the street, and I'm worried about them in school. Nobody's doing nothing about it. So this is the second thing, Mr. Mayor, that I'm gonna offer to you. Everybody's here. Would you like to be the next sheriff of this county?
No, thank you.
Okay. And that's part of it now.
Mhm.
I'll offer my brother-in-law then, David Kibler, and if he doesn't do it, I'll run. And I'm getting rid of every sheriff deputy and starting from scratch because they're gonna get out of their car seats and run. and learn how to shoot that gun again. 99% of these law enforcements never even get out of their car. You know who've been doing the saving in these counties? Me. You could go on your computer. I don't think. I saved 15 police officers in the last 10 years, and this gentleman here could tell you about the new officer years ago who quit in one day. I ran into the bank called 911, Tails, they beat. You remember there was a drug lord called Tails back then?
No, but I've
I'm
slept,
selling his drugs there. A young officer hired the first day, just like Brandon reminded me, and he tried to do his job, and if it wasn't for me, he would have been killed.
So Nick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got a time.
Yes.
So what's your third item?
My third item is the fentanyl crisis. I met with the sheriff, I met with his brother, they told me we can't do nothing about it. We can't do nothing what's happening overseas now. My friend, the first woman, Lieutenant Colonel, says we're about to have World War III, but we could do something about this county. You're up there, you know, I'm handing it. Nick, his first wife got caught selling cocaine, went to jail. Nick, who's running his restaurant, I'm not afraid of nobody. I'm not afraid of getting killed, but I have to prepare you. He carries 3 guns on him. One here, and one down here. And the people that are selling the guns and rifles are selling it out of 115. I was in a house before these cameras. And that's what I'm worrying about. Try to sell me 1,000 of them for $1,000 and nobody's listening to nothing.
Well, I certainly will make sure that
Okay.
our chief is
Yeah,
aware of what you told
I
us.
try to tell him, and please check out the dollar store and have him contact the police chief of Camden, Delaware, because last week I spoke to the lieutenant after those 3 men got their ass kicked by this old man now. I slammed the doors on them. I jumped out of my passenger seat and I ran in there. And I said, and I called 911 and I waited for the state police.
Well, thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Sure.
We need,
I'm gonna have a seat now.
yes, please, we need to get on.
I please you listen
Thank
to
you
what
very
I'm
much.
saying.
I'm glad you came.
Okay.
Is there anybody else here from the public that would like to address the council? Has an issue? There's a lot of people here. Is there anybody wanting something to say or just listening to what's going on? Just listening? Okay. All right, thank you. So we'll get on with the meeting and, town manager, Ms. Tanner.
You have a copy of the report, so just a brief update on things that were not sent previously. DR Horton is, planning to start building mid-month. That's assuming that the last couple items are addressed and approved, which brings me to all of you. They would like your permission to go with the 6-12 pitch versus the 7-12 pitch. It really didn't even need to be in the design guidelines, but since they did put it in there, they need your approval on planning and zoning to change it. We spoke with a builder, with the town attorney and with our inspector, and this 6-12 is pretty normal, and it's not in code, it's not in our LDO, there's nothing that's, as long as they stick with the elevation requirements. So,
It's just, as long as it's documented on their drawing.
Yeah.
So when they turn them in, the drawings, Hal will approve them.
Yeah.
I already talked to Hal about it.
It doesn't have to go back to the planning and zoning.
Shouldn't have to.
Lindsay said yes.
Yeah, okay. So what our town attorney
Formality,
told us is that we need to decide whether we want to accept that, and then it goes back to planning and zoning, since the drawings that they submitted that were approved by planning and zoning said the 7-12 pitch. So according to the advice from our attorney, that we need to go back to them for their approval, but I guess they're waiting to see if we're willing to accept that. So do you need a motion? Sure.
Okay, I make a motion, we accept the changes as submitted because it has no bearing on construction.
To the 612 fishing from the 7.
I'll second that motion.
All right, got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion on it? All in favor by aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. We did a couple changes over at Town Hall. If anybody comes in, we, just to improve customer service a little bit, Dawn was moved downstairs across from where Denise is. So that if one is busy, the other one is available, and hopefully that'll, alleviate some waiting. Water bills were due, and Amanda and Jamie made a lot of phone calls to remind residents that had not paid. Which seems to have made a huge difference. We had a lot of people in over the last 3 days, to pay and or make payment arrangements, so it worked. Hopefully everybody now is aware of the consistent policies that we have in place, and it'll be a more simplified process going forward. The Director of Economic Development is going to come in on February 15th, as well as Jamie Beachy. She's gonna come in regarding the North County part. And I think that is it, unless you have questions regarding anything else that I had listed.
Well, I think that, I'd like to mention it just for the record. And I know all of you saw the letter that we sent to the mayor and council,
Yes.
to the county, regarding the DAF plant, that is proposed originally, and the one that is allegedly out here at the end of Sunset. It's obvious that, most of our residents, are opposed, to it being there for a multitude of reasons. We sent a short and brief letter, to them, asking them to go ahead and enforce the moratorium and pass that. And we will follow up with another letter, the reasons why we are opposed to it, i.e. that it's so close to, all of our parks and our school and the playground and all the things we have in town, and the potential issues that it may cause that nobody knows about, that they not allow it. If they're gonna allow it in the county, at least put it somewhere where there are as few people is gonna impact as necessary. And it's another one of those things that nobody wants it in their own backyard, but I think putting something like that close to Ridgely or to the town of Greensboro, where there are a lot of people, is not wise. So we want to pass that letter along, to the county. So as we work on that letter, if you all have any thoughts, would like to include anything in it, just let us know. We'll try to get it in there, but we'll let you see that before. But if the public didn't know, we posted it on our website, but we did send a letter in our opposition.
Originally was very appreciative of our support.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Tammy?
Tammy, I do have one for you. I can't remember, it's been years ago. So if a citizen has a water leak, and they get their bill is outrageous. And I think our charter states, ordinance or whatever, that they have to hire a licensed plumber to come out to their house. If the licensed plumber say, yes, you did have a leak, do we give them any kind of credit since?
We do if it was an undetectable leak.
Yes.
So in other words, if the plumber,
They wouldn't.
if the plumber was the only way that they were going to notice it,
Yeah.
then yes.
Yeah,
But it's not like a
yeah,
full-
yeah, running or dripping faucet, no.
Mr. Mayor, I have something to say on that. It happened to me.
Just a minute. please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to know.
I think
Okay,
that's
all
right.
right.
All right, okay, so now the next thing is the town attorney. She's unable to be here tonight, and where she is, she doesn't have access to the internet. So she did leave a few notes for us. So Tammy helped me with this, but the first is that she has sent you a draft copy of the wastewater treatment plant RFP. And in that it is due back, I think, in March the 15th or something like that. So that we can take a look at it, and we'll have it in time as we prepare for our budget. So if you have a chance to take a look at that, please do so. If you have any questions, reach out to Tammy. One of the things that I did notice in there that we were very concerned about is that it has that the new vendor will be liable and responsible for any fines that are incurred by the town because Down by the meeting, the state, there, yes. Also, she has a resolution adopted for us tonight for the fees and fines that we've been talking about, and I know that the staff was asked to prepare them. They have sent a list and they've been passing it around. So, are you comfortable voting on that tonight? Would you like to take time to consider it?
I'm comfortable.
I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a resolution?
Okay.
All right, so this would be resolution 2024 R01. A resolution of the mayor and council of Greensboro adopting a comprehensive town fee schedule for services provided by the town and repealing all previous fine schedules. And who would like to sponsor this?
I'll sponsor it.
So then we will vote on it tonight. All in favor signify by saying aye. And nay. And I guess since the resolution, we probably should call the roll. So Commissioner Robinson? Yea or nay?
Yay.
Commissioner Noon?
Yay.
Commissioner Harrison?
Yay.
Commissioner Brilliant?
Hey,
All right, thank you. The other thing is that she also prepared a cannabis ordinance, and I know all of you probably had a chance to take a look over. And we're looking for a motion tonight to introduce that ordinance. And then it'll have to go before we'll have to schedule a public hearing for that to be held on March the 7th. And it'll also need to be referred, through the planning and zoning commission for their consideration. So I will be looking for someone to make a motion to introduce the ordinance for the cannabis. ordinance. More to it, actually.
No, I'm not leaving.
okay. Make a motion to introduce the cannabis document that's presented.
All right,
Make a second.
all right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just wanted to fix it. My car, they did was snapping it.
The yes, we'll schedule that for the March 7th public hearing. You get that done, who's sponsored?
Yes.
All right, so then, going on to the charter, I know that, did you include those in there? Yes. I had a chance to go through the whole pack.
I went to.
So we're only looking, tonight, we were scheduled to look at Article 2, the council, Article 3, the office of the mayor, and Article 4, which is municipal election. As I said that I would try to do, I went through there. And in your packet, you'll see where my comments are in red. So I don't know if any of you would like to add anything additional or object to anything that I put in there, but I'll open it up for discussion. How about we start with Article 2, the council.
He did his own. So what section is that?
No,
Two,
he's saying,
Article
but
two,
he
but they're in your
put
packet.
his notes. in.
Okay, you put the first Monday of November, and I have the first Monday of December because it depends on when the election is.
Election is.
Always the second, it's the second, well, first, isn't it first or second Tuesday?
Usually the first
Depending on when
Tuesday, so it can't be the
second
first Monday. You
So
can't,
it would be December.
yeah, it should be the first Monday of December.
Yeah.
That's what I have in my notes.
Well, we have you all looking at. Are we all together now?
I like your sweater, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
So let me just get this right. So when the newly elected official gets in, when do they get sworn in?
The first
First Monday
Monday
following
of December.
in December.
In December.
Would you want the first
Why
meeting in
not
December or the The
Because the
meeting
election is,
or the Monday following
The
the
Monday following the
election.
election.
it could be in November, depending on the,
Depending on it.
that's what I had in November. I think,
Just take the word first out, just put the Monday following the election.
Yeah, make it simple.
But,
Yeah.
but if you're
Because
gonna do it on a Monday, are you gonna have a special meeting on Monday, or is it gonna be at the next council meeting? We meet on Thursdays.
I would just put the next council meeting.
The first council meeting following the election.
Election,
Yeah.
that would be perfect.
That's what I would do. Yep,
That keeps it simple.
yep. Yep, real simple.
the first meeting following the election.
Correct, because right now the charter says the first Thursday of December,
Yeah.
Right.
and we didn't, yeah, okay.
Well, it says that the regular term of the council person shall expire on the first Monday of May. So you don't want them leaving until somebody's coming in.
Correct, so be
Correct.
November, that's why we're taking May out and just say the first Thursday, or the next meeting after the election. That's when they'll get sworn in.
So the councils that's currently sitting will go out of office on that Thursday when they're the meeting that following the election.
Correct.
Mhm.
Right. However you try to say it.
Yeah, yeah,
We're straight.
Yes.
on that.
I mean, I think we all agree, it's just how to say it.
Correct, correct.
Wording is kind of funny when it talks about it. All right, so then the section one is,
So,
so section,
206.
what I wanted to bring to your attention is in 206, where it talks about vacancies in the council shall be filled as provided in section 515 of this charter. I thought we ought to just well go ahead and address this now, instead of waiting until we get to 515, because I think we kind of all agreed when we went through this last round. That, and what I wrote in here, so just bear with me and tell me if you think you agree with this. If a vacancy occurs, the council shall hold a special election to fill the vacancy within 45 days of the vacancy by posting a notice of the special election. Now, we can change that 45 to whatever days you think is appropriate, but you need to leave time to advertise, have somebody express an interest, and those kinds of things.
Have the debate.
If only one qualified resident applies for the position, no election will be necessary and that person will fill the vacancy. If no one applies by the filing deadline, the council shall appoint a person to fill the vacancy by majority vote. So if two people apply, you have an election. Only one eligible person applies, they automatically get in with no election necessary. And if nobody applies, you, the council, would then fill the seat by majority vote.
I agree.
yeah,
Is that acceptable? That's kind of how we talk about it
You
normally.
think 45 days is enough though?
I don't know, I don't, you don't want to make it too long.
No, I don't want to make it too long, but I want to make sure that, I mean, are we gonna have like another meeting brief to candidates? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we had that done. We turned in our letters in August.
Was it about
Yeah,
45?
it was, it
It
was,
wasn't too long.
yeah.
was it?
That's fine. I just, when you look at 45, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
I'm fine with that.
I picked 45, I don't know that that's appropriate or not, but
No, it's a month
we
and a
can
half.
always, yeah.
That's fine.
So if Lindsay has a problem with the 45 days and thinks we need more, then we can do it. I don't think anybody objects to that.
Yeah.
You would hope the council member gave notice before they're just stepping down.
Yeah.
So,
And then 208, we just need to change the time from 7:30 to 6, right? And on the first meeting, now see, now here, it contradicts itself because it says the newly elected council shall meet at 6 p.m. on the first Monday of November following its election. So,
Should be the first Thursday.
first Thursday.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be the
Well, the
first
first
Thursday,
meeting.
first meeting?
first
It's
meeting.
gonna be
First
the
meeting?
First
Yeah,
meeting.
first
The word
meeting.
meeting instead of
Yes,
Thursday.
Yes, first meeting.
On the
after
first
election.
meeting of November following the election.
Do we want to put a time in there? I mean, what if you guys decide that you want it at 6:30?
I would just say
Regular meetings
regular
are at
6 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Just leave it there at 6.
Leave it
Yeah,
at
the
6.
regular
Okay.
meeting.
I don't view that as a big deal.
Okay.
Alright. Anybody else have anything in Article 2?
Yeah.
You okay?
There's 204. It says the mayor shall serve as the president of the council shall elect the vice president. And it goes through that whole speech, but it jumps back and forth from commissioner to council, president to mayor. I think it should be consistent throughout, and we should pick one term to stick with it. I don't,
Is it 204, right, Steve?
yeah, 204 says president of the council. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it defines that the mayor is
Well,
the president.
it probably should say, Pete, that the,
I just think it should follow the charter. I mean, the code, the code, the other book we have,
I think it's,
the terminology varies.
the council shall elect the vice president of the council from its members who shall act as president of the council in the absence of the president of the council, you just say in absence of the mayor.
Correct.
Right. It should be a vice mayor and a mayor, because if that's what the blue book
It
says.
just say mayor.
You know what the blue book says? We got so many words and titles going around here.
Well, from 204 to 205 too, it goes from commissioner to referring as council person. So why not?
That's where the confusion is.
No, why not just
Pick a
one?
Yeah, we'll just do mayor, vice mayor and council,
Either council person or commissioner.
commissioner.
There. Let me just keep it simple, but, it goes back and forth. It's a, I understand what it's saying, but it's also.
So it'd be confusing.
So I think. I hate to even, I'll say this out of my mouth, but I think that it's probably saying council person, because if you say, well, now, we got away from council man, so council member would be okay, because it's not then. Male or female.
Think of it like a commissioner.
Commissioner, that covers
Male or
the whole thing, right?
Right.
And you use mayor and vice mayor.
Right.
instead of
Okay,
President
Yeah.
and president.
okay, so.
Look, I had that started on my thing here.
So commissioner will be the word we use to act the charter or code.
Yeah.
Just to be consistent.
And
Yeah.
vice mayor and mayor.
I don't disagree. All right. Anybody else have anything to do? Nope.
That's why we do this.
That's why we do this. Ever have fun yet? All right, and then.
May I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Just a minute, Nick.
Okay, thank you, kind sir.
So the office of the mayor, my notes in here in section 304 says powers and duties. Says that the mayor shall see that the ordinance of the town are faithfully executed, and shall be the chief executive officer and the head of the administrative branch of the town of government. And my question, what does this mean? What authority does being the CEO and head of the administration branch give the mayor? It doesn't give any guidelines. And being a new mayor, I don't want to overstep my bounds, but this certainly doesn't say much about what, and I know you had previously as mayor, so maybe could give some advice.
So previously, like I said, when I was mayor, we went over a lot of this before, but we never actually sat down and did it. But I had before that the mayor and town manager are responsible for managing the operations of the town. The town manager oversees the day-to-day operations and personnel management. So both of y'all work together as a team. You know, if she needs you for something, then she just comes to you. But overall, I think basically she's a town manager. She should run the town, and if she has a problem, then she goes to you as the mayor.
Well, I think that's how it is described, isn't it, Tammy, in the chain of command that we put out recently?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we have what, 2 or 3 different versions of.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was looking at. I'm just looking at here. It says the council shall determine its own rules and orders of business. But it doesn't specify that we follow Robert's rules of order or that we follow any set thing. We can make our own rules. So should we specify that we follow something so that everything is standard? Or is each meeting we shoot from the hip? Because I mean, basically, other than agenda being set, we don't really play by any rules.
Well, there
Well-
is a,
There is.
somewhere, I think it's up there somewhere, but nobody really.
Oh, yeah, you mean
Yes.
the agenda thing that we had? It was sitting up, yeah, it was up here.
So basically, I mean, yeah, you have to run the meeting as Robert rules. of
Yeah.
order.
That's if you take.
Here it is, right
That's
here.
what they tell you.
Yeah, but I tell you, you told me that was Yale Natural. He gave me a book.
Yeah.
And it was, what was it called? It was one of those dummy books.
Well, the problem
You know
is,
what I mean?
when you submit a charter in the state of Maryland, you have to specify that you're gonna follow a certain set of rules. And usually most companies or organizations pick Robert's rules, so
Yeah,
it's
Robert
standard and
rules.
accepted. Yeah. But here it just says we shall determine its own rules and order of business. That's just setting the agenda. I don't have a problem with the mayor or the town, manager setting the agenda for the meeting.
Yeah.
But we need to follow a certain set of orders, and if you read that paragraph, it really doesn't state that we do that.
Which paragraph?
You're talking about this one
Which
here, right?
paragraph are you referencing, Pete?
Just above the article of the mayor. Let me go back to it. I just had it. I think it's 207. No.
Back in 200?
Yeah, backed up, yeah.
Yeah, it's 207.
I think it's 207, yeah, procedures of the council. I had a note there, a little star on my computer. You started going on about the mayor and I sat and looked at it, and said, oh, I missed this. I mean, it reads fine, it just says that we set our own rules of orders, but it doesn't say that we actually follow any set rules or established guidelines.
So you want us to put?
I'm just throwing it out there, we can discuss it, I don't care, you can leave it the way it is, that's something I noticed when I read it. So,
Well, I found really a lot of stuff that we
general,
all read through, it's so general that it's
subject to interpretation.
interpretation and anybody's interpretation can be different.
But
and
what I
we're all-
didn't do, and I was going to, was I was gonna bring the code up, the code of Greensboro, the other book. And I was gonna try to look at them side by side so that the language was the same. But I did not do that this far down, so I just had a note there to bring it up, so I brought it up. I don't have a problem either way, I just, something I read and I had a question.
Well, I think that when I was on the council previously, just like, Joe said, that we had always operated under Robert's Rules of Order.
Correct.
Whether or not it was actually specified in the charter, but those were the ones, I mean, everybody follows Robert's Rules of Order, in any organization.
When you fill out your application for your charter
Yeah,
with the state, you have to specify that you're gonna follow a set rules, and you usually list Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah.
Can we get that with that
Well,
then?
well, we can add that in there.
Yeah, because I thought that's
Yeah.
what we did.
I would just, say something that the council shall, rule of order of business shall follow the Robert's Rules of Ordinance. And,
I mean, we basically do.
Right.
yeah,
We have motions, we
Right.
have seconds, and after seconds, we have discussion. I mean, we follow the procedure. It's just not
We just need
specified.
something in here.
it says we shall determine so own rules and
Right.
order of business. And you
Right.
said we're gonna follow Robert's Rules of Business, but we need to put it in there. Semantics. So if you wanna put it in there, then
I say we put it in there, that way it's covering for later down the road, you know what I'm
And
saying?
if the next council wants to change
Correct.
it, that's theirs too.
all right, so back where we were.
What was that, two?
We're we're under 304. Powers and duties of the mayor, and I think we've addressed that. So it's clear, so that Tammy, we've tried to generalize the, chain of command, so that Tammy doesn't have to run to all of you to get an answer or something.
Correct.
That's what the mayor is there for, then, is what you're saying, to bounce that off of. Now, obviously, if it's something that is impactful or it's legislative related, then the mayor would have to come to you guys. And I'm not doing this just for my own benefit. This is for whoever ends up sitting in this seat.
Correct, right.
And so.
I do have one other thing I'd like to bring up, section 304, number B.
That was next.
This states in here that the mayor can terminate department heads removed by the mayor. It doesn't say that he needs approval from the council.
It says, and I've read that, and I got a lot of questions for that. It says that the mayor, somewhere else in there, it says that the mayor can appoint department heads with approval of the council. But this here gives the mayor the authority to fire everybody in there.
Correct.
At the mayor's pleasure, and that's not good business.
No.
Just say, so.
Tammy don't want.
Well, geez.
But I mean, that's what he said.
But like you said, if somebody else would come up here and read it that way, they could interpret it, come in and say, fired, fired, fired,
So
go down the line.
this is how I think it should work. And we've had this conversation, so correct me if I'm wrong. Tammy and I should get together and then recommend the department head, like we did with the chief of police, to the council. For your approval, yes,
Correct.
we're gonna hire that person. If the chief deserves to be fired, then Tammy and I should come back to the council and say, here's the call, and we want your permission to fire him.
Correct.
He also has a contract which says they have to have costs.
Yeah.
Would we have something to say, Mr. Mayor, about that?
Let me finish, please. You've got to leave my train of thought. I have enough trouble as it is. But the hiring of everybody else, the staff, should be something that Tammy has the
Correct.
authority and maybe communicate. Because she should have the authority to hire them and fire them.
Right, the staff will
The
also.
staff,
Now,
yeah.
shouldn't like
but-
Brandon, he
but
should
the
be able to
only-
hire.
No, he's a department head.
But the only thing that if Tammy lets go of an employee, I would like the council to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and she has done that.
Yeah.
Right,
So I would prefer council know ahead of time.
correct.
The mayor and then the council, so that if there's.
Well,
a
depending on,
backlash, yeah.
right,
You don't want somebody walking up to you tomorrow and say, Tammy fired me.
Right.
Well, then you know,
Right.
right.
So,
Right.
so,
I mean, depending on the severity of the incident.
I just think it needs to be worded that that's the way it should be, so that, like we said, if somebody else comes in here, they don't come in here and just say, you're fired, because I don't like
I
you.
want you to
So-
understand, if
I
someone
don't think
comes
that's
in
right.
and says, you know what, Tammy, and lays you out, you can tell them, absolutely, get out of here.
Right.
No problem, you're not gonna get any blowback
Recourse
from
or
us, but
anything.
if it's something like, this is the third strike, I think we have plenty of time to say,
Yeah.
hey, guys, I'm leaning this way because of X, Y, Z, so we're all
Yep.
aware and ready.
Agreed.
Okay?
so I think that this paragraph, a lot of this stuff is like you do is very wordy. And we need to just cut it down to the nails and then, like we said, that the department head would be recommended by the town manager and the mayor to the council for approval. And determination of those employees would follow the same link. All other employees can be hired by the town manager and fired at the discretion of the
Correct.
town manager. With call.
That works.
Yeah,
And give it that merit system, because we don't have a merit system, so that's redundant.
so here's one more question that I have. Since Amanda really runs her own department, is she considered a department head
I think so.
or an employee?
Well, no, she's
Both.
exempt,
Well,
so she's,
I mean, where does she fall? Does she fall under the
technically, I would
department
say
head?
department head because she's exempt.
Okay, okay,
So she would fall in the tent.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. All done on three.
Yes.
Yes.
You getting all this done?
I'm gonna have to listen to
All right.
It's recorded.
Powers of the council.
Or is it that one?
There's a long lot of stuff in here. And, I didn't, see anything that jumped off the pages that made it was an issue, so do any of you have any comments that you want to make on it? Pete, I see you looking.
I'm checking under.
Check it.
Just, like in 211, it says clerk treasurer, we just need to change it to clerk, because it used to be clerk treasurer was one position, now it's two.
But you're talking about two acting.
Yeah.
We need, wherever you see clerk treasurer, you should now just say
Clerk.
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 Because then if it ever goes to, if there is ever a clerk treasurer, there's still clerk there, and right now mine's town manager / clerk. So it applies.
Yeah,
Either
but
way.
other than that, I don't have any other notes that I see.
Yeah, I didn't have it. I really didn't see anything on that one.
I mean, it's a lot, it's a read. It's a lot of words, but, it actually wasn't that confusing. I didn't see anything else.
Pretty painless, so
That
then,
was.
so we got homework for the next meeting. I don't remember which ones they are, but I know she's saying.
But she'll send them out.
And I beg your forgiveness, but I need to back up a little bit. I overlooked the approval of the minutes for the January 4th and the January 18th meetings. So I will look for a motion to approve both of the, well, the first one, let's do the January 4th. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Second? Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all in favor by aye?
Aye.
Opposed? January 18th, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, questions about that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I don't mean to be slow here. But, I did have one more thing, in reference to the budget. I knew before, you prepared a budget, right? Then the budget goes to Dave. Then Dave brings it to us.
Right.
See, I read it where it was different in the charter.
Yeah, I think it was, the mayor was the one
with the town manager.
with the town manager, but I'm trying to think of how it was worded. I know what you're talking about.
Sections of that.
I'm trying to find it.
It's D,
That's under the mayor thing, isn't it?
D,
No,
No?
this one,
oh, yes, it is.
complete supervision of.
It's underneath of this, right here, D.
Yeah, it's D.
It says, under the mayor shall have prepare or have prepared annual budget and submitted to the council.
Yeah, so you have her prepare,
Hmm.
and then we all sit there and kind
You
of.
could look, me do it. So
So you
it
want
says
to
that,
send
it
to town
says
meeting?
that I have it prepared, but that has always been delegated to the town
Right.
manager.
Right.
But when it comes actual time, when we present to council the budget, I would present to council along with her work, and then you guys
Yeah.
would give the approval. So. yeah. So if you allow me, while we're talking about that, Tammy and I met this week in an effort to try to streamline and help expedite, our meetings and things so that we get a little bit more stuff done and flows a little bit more better, for lack of a better word. And we come up with this, and correct me again, Tammy, if I'm wrong, but that, Dawn, we would like to have the minutes prepared by the Tuesday of the following of the meeting. So if we have a meeting Tuesday night, we'd like to have the minutes sent to us by that next Tuesday. So it's still fresh in our minds what we discussed, and then if we have any questions or additions or corrections, we can send them back to you. We wouldn't be approving them, we're just making comments on what's fresh in our mind.
I would think it's more like, not a draft, but almost a draft, then it can be tweaked if there's any.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what I'm saying, it isn't, because we're not approving it that Tuesday, we're just looking at it over, so we don't get it like now.
Yep.
What went on January 4th, we didn't. Good. But if we get it by that Tuesday, you can say, oh, no, I don't, how many times have we said, well, I thought we said this. So,
Well, I thought we said that.
And it might help her out if she has.
There is one,
yeah,
there is one, and I wanna get off of this, all right, because I read too much into it. But there is one thing where, and I remember last meeting, Pete brought it up, or 2 meetings ago, that if we're in a workshop, we can't vote. I like to change that. If we're in a workshop and we have a quorum, that means we can vote,
Well,
but we haven't changed the charter.
I thought. Lindsay
no, we
said you
just,
can't
no,
do that.
no, you can't do it in a workshop, but you can make it a regular meeting and vote. I
Yeah.
mean, we had 2 meetings a month. We were, originally, when I got on the board, it was a meeting and a workshop.
Mhm.
And then so you had 1 meeting a month and a workshop. We switched it to 2 meetings to be more productive.
Yeah.
And we just decided to have a workshop because we had all this stuff.
before you
going.
got on the council, we switched. You have to say, we don't have a workshop unless we specifically say.
Say we're having a
gonna
workshop.
have a workshop.
And all it means is, yeah, so when we just had a bunch of issues to discuss, so we decided to have a workshop on it. It just means we can't make any decisions until the next meeting. But we usually just have 2 meetings a month. We always
Gotcha.
specify. if
Okay,
it's
so
gonna be
the
a work-
second meeting is not always a workshop.
No,
Yeah.
it was never a workshop.
Never a
If
workshop.
this thing was to carry over, we needed another
Right,
meeting, we
okay.
just carried it to
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
next
Yeah,
meeting.
we, the only time we call for
I
a
didn't-
workshop is when we have
Well,
a
that
bunch of
was before
stuff
you
to
got
discuss.
on.
Okay, all right, no
Yeah, 'cause
problem.
we changed that before you got on.
Because just like you said, there were things that were lingering because in the second meeting, we couldn't vote on, it, so
Right.
then it might wait till the next meeting and then you forget about it. Anyway.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right, the minutes. Now, the other thing is the agenda. We would like to have all the agenda and any items that we need to be able to talk about that Thursday by the close of business Friday. Don't have to send it to us, copies, just have it sent it to us, so we can review it, so we have an idea over the weekend and before Thursday, to think about what we're gonna talk about. And I also asked Tammy, and she did it in this one, when we put things on the agenda, we won't list it on the official agenda, but the copy that you get will say, this person is coming to discuss this item, instead of it just says Academy Street, we're like, well,
Okay,
what about it?
right,
So you will get a note that says, so and so is coming to talk about Academy Street.
like you
about the
highlighted.
issue. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, just so that you have an idea, you can think about it, ride down there, take a look around. That way, hopefully we can.
Better prepared.
Yeah.
Resolve some issues.
And then the handouts, Tammy, obviously you can give them to us as soon as you can. that meeting, but, and if there's anything you need to be added, just shoot us something like that, but at least the bulk of it we'll have a chance to look at. And the other thing is that, and please, I apologize and don't mean to be rude, but if you get an email or a text from Tammy, please respond back to her. If nothing else, got it, at least she knows you looked at it.
Mhm.
I mean, if you send something out and you don't answer her, then she's like, I wonder, do they even didn't see it? Or so just be respectful enough to send her back. I got it.
I know.
Thumbs up or whatever. But
I know Bobby doesn't, so I'll text him and say I sent an email.
Done that to me.
all
If
right.
I'm at
so
work, I don't look at that stuff, I look at my other.
does any of you have, since these are your meetings too, do any of you have any objections to what we discussed?
No.
Not at
I
all.
recommend it.
I have something to discuss. It's important. May I say it?
You'll have to wait till the end, I let you go
Okay.
first. You had your time. all
Okay,
right? I'm
but
sorry.
it's very important.
All right. So
Thank you, sir.
you good with what we said? Chief, you're next.
My turn. So we had a pretty productive month. We served 6 criminal summons, for misdemeanor, offenses. We had 51 property checks. We actually are in the process of an applicant that applied. So we will be, further, looking, at this applicant. That's good news, for us.
Certified or?
Certified.
Yes, this applicant is certified, so we don't have to send him to the police academy. So that looks pretty good, we're actually getting applicants. But January was an average month, had a few property damage accidents. Had an accident that we just exchanged the information, nothing out of the ordinary. So we're looking pretty good for February.
Any DUIs?
No DUIs.
How about the woman that I saved over there in a pole? She hit the pole coming out of when I was on the way to the cemetery and then it was young.
Okay,
Thank you.
anything else, chief?
No, sir.
Anybody have any questions for the chief?
Yes.
So I'm gonna skip around again tonight. Amanda, I know you don't feel well, so if you wanna go next and when you're finished, you'd like to leave, you're welcome to do so.
I mean, I'm in it to win it now.
Good.
I don't have any updates outside of what you have in your reports. I do think that, despite the amount of time it took, calling everybody seemed to help get people in the water bills. And there was, I think Jamie and I, she's only dealt with 1 or 2 people that were upset that we called. Everybody else was really happy that we called to remind them because they had forgotten, as we all do. But, that's all I have.
Well, that's good, thank you. I was worried about that calling people.
I was a little anxious also.
Hey, Amanda, thank you for putting those posts out on Facebook, our show, Fishing Derby. I mean, you're putting information out there. That's all you can do. It's wonderful. The autism one, I mean, Facebook is blown up, so.
Tractor pull,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Don't forget the cops and bobbers.
That's all, yeah, I
Yeah,
told
that's
you.
That's
That's
cute.
Cops and bobbers came from Lennox.
Oh, okay.
So you're a licensed notary now?
Does that mean Tom Bobber?
So we have 2 now.
Well, I have to get the stamp and stuff like.
Okay. Have you sent off for me?
All right,
Yeah, I
thank
have to
you,
do that.
Amanda. Randy, Public Works?
You guys pretty much got everything. We had the water leak out on Park Avenue, that was the Bell Building. No complaints back from the School Street. It did, riding past there, she did. Looks like the sump pump now goes to the storm drain. Haven't heard any more in that situation. We had to use the snow plow, this past month. Everything went pretty well. A lot of newbies on the plows, but for the most part, everything went pretty smooth.
Paving the streets helped a lot. Didn't tear up
Yeah.
stuff, did it?
No. We did go around and fill some potholes. And as I stated on the report, I've reached out multiple times to the state highway about Sunset between the boat ramp and Lincoln Street. And they're basically, every time I call them, they're like, oh, we're gonna get on it, we're gonna get on it.
Weren't they just here last week doing it?
Yeah, but
It's
the
like
problem
hit or
is,
miss what they fill in.
and it's just cold patch that they're filling in, it says,
So
just put the
the rain
Band-Aid.
hit you, run over, pop right back in.
But, and that's why we haven't put the millings on,
Yeah.
the cabin, just cause everything's just so wet right now.
Is there a meeting we could attend about that?
State high, I know they are located in Chestertown, that's who you have to.
Yeah, the
do.
engineering division's over there.
Thanks.
With
I
Chestertown,
wonder if that's already.
State Highway over there, that's who I used to have to
That,
send
well,
letters to.
this past year, it was supposed to have been
No,
No.
ripped up in everything. They're
You
fucking-
can just,
yeah.
substation, everything.
I knew the guy who ran that and that's the town, Brandon.
So, have we sent them a letter?
Like a certified letter?
Just addressing the issues with their roads in our town.
Again,
I would.
The new, signs on Academy for crosswalk and everything, wood duct that's been put up. And we moved the stop sign as you guys requested, we moved it closer to
It's
the,
like a small.
end of the sidewalk. As requested, Academy Street, all them signs were put up. So-
Those yellow signs that you put there at Academy would, eye catching. And so if they're running the stop signs now, it's just because they're blatantly doing it. And hopefully our police will catch them.
Brandon, and I had somebody stop me or talk to me about, somebody said there's people parking on School Street also. Have you noticed people parking on the side of the road on School Street?
I noticed that.
Where on school?
Where on school?
They just said School Street. He didn't give me an exact
I didn't notice.
location.
Parking on the road?
On the road, yeah.
I ride through there every day.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen anything.
That's fine.
That's
I,
pretty much it.
I said, I don't know.
I mean, only in front of the schoolhouse, we've seen it, if people are like moving in or.
Yeah, but they don't stay there.
And stuff,
Right.
but they usually pretty.
And I owe you, Pastor, an apology, because apparently you already had the 10-minute or 15-minute signs out there.
There's just the one sign there, yeah.
It says 10 minutes, but it also allows you to park there on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Did you talk to your trustees?
I did talk to my trustees, and because then we were talking about the fact that that sign is there and they hit that time from Sunday. What they would like to see perhaps would be some handicap signs put out there, thinking about some of the church folks on Sunday mornings that need that space. But I think.
But how?
Put in handicap ramps.
Mhm.
Yeah, put in handicap.
Your designated
Well,
area.
they got a ramp go up to church, but not to get through that. The problem with that, Pastor, is that I think we're trying to eliminate, parking there for any length of time, and I know they need that. I don't know how we would fix that. I mean, how about this maybe? If somehow you or we together maybe were able to, on the alley, where the building ends
Mhm.
and Academy Street is, if we widen that enough that you could put one or two parking spots there for handicap only, they would take up some of your grass maybe, but if you widen that a little bit, it might be enough room to put a handicapped person or two in there. We probably got some extra noise around that we could, use, but you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're coming down the alley before you come, where
Right,
Wheatley Hall
right,
is,
Wheatley Hall.
between Wheatley Hall and Academy Street, you might lose a little bit of sidewalk and a little bit of grass.
But the
But there might
sidewalk
be
is
enough
ground
room there
level, so you don't have to put a ramp in.
Yeah, to put two handicap spots there.
The
Then it
trustees,
could wheel right up to the
the next
sidewalk.
trustees meeting is Monday, the 12th at 7 o'clock. Would it be possible for somebody to come to that meeting and share this information with the trustees?
12th of February.
What day of the week is that?
Monday.
Monday. February 12th? I can do that unless somebody else wants to, I mean, but Brandon, can you go around there tomorrow or whenever soon? And take a look if that's even feasible, is that, if it's feasible, to see if there's enough distance there and room to maybe. Do you think that would be okay or not?
I think it would. I think, if you want to check that out and then somebody could come to that trustees meeting and explain it to everybody. Because I can see now when I go back with this, I'm gonna get hit with a bunch of questions. And I'm
You
gonna
can't
get
answer.
calling one of you guys or something like.
Questions you can't answer.
Yeah, so,
Right.
yeah.
You want a sacrificial lamb, in other words.
The only negative is you're making them walk twice as far.
Yeah.
Well, maybe so, but right now, we're talking about not allowing them to park out there at all. So,
I don't know, I park my motor.
what time, February 12th? And is that in Wheatley Hall?
That is actually in what we call the mission room, which was the back part of the garage.
Yeah, round back. Side door to the kitchen.
Yeah, right off the kitchen of Wheaton.
Would one of you like to go? I mean, does anybody that wants to do that?
Mr. Mayor, when you walk come down what I call that alleyway there, you'll see a sign hanging, that says God's Helping Hands. You're gonna wanna enter right there.
Yeah, I've been in that room.
Yeah.
When the last, I used to cook food there and so we've been stored in there and blah, blah, blah. Sorry, so then, Christine and I will try to be there at your meeting on Monday, 12th. Thank you.
Sorry, Brandon, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I'm.
With Public Works, you still have more, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just.
Yes.
We
He still had more to go.
Yeah, we poured out a list and parking was one of them. So, of course, everybody knows we've had some like crazy storm, a lot of rain, everything, so we've been busy with trying to keep the tree limbs and all that, make the park still look decent. And on the days that it's raining and nasty and cold, we've been servicing pretty much every bit of equipment that Public Works and doing a lot of inventory as well. Billy changed the oil in the air compressors and blowers, which were well overdue. I mean, we were real dark and so we pretty much on all the filters, make sure we wrote how many, what hours they were changed at, the date. So, we can better.
Keep up with
Better
maintenance
keep
list.
a log on that. And we had to start flushing some of the hydrants on that side of town on, Voicemail and Greensboro Road. And they had to boost the cooler and move levels up a little bit. So what we're gonna work on a plan of action because I came across some logs yesterday where some of the hydrants have not been flushed since 2001.
I know they brought around the Mrs. Canat's, when it burned, and when they opened that thing up, there was more rust and water came out of that thing. That they couldn't even hook it to the engine.
Well,
to
they
get
say
it
that's what
to
happened to the one at Church Street. It had-
What are you supposed to, how often are you supposed to?
6
flush
months,
the
isn't it?
Yeah,
Every 6
twice,
months?
twice a year would be ideal. Once a year.
But once a year would be great.
Right.
But, we actually got a list of every hydrant, but, and even on some of them, you don't necessarily have to flush every single hydrant because of the way the line is, or you can limit it down, instead of 30 minutes, you can limit it down to 20 minutes. But we gotta, so working on a plan of action, probably gonna do that more. We're gonna set it up where we do it at nighttime, so that way we don't impact the residents. They're not using the water, they're not driving through the water.
Okay.
You just announced which ones you're flushing.
Which street or which area?
And,
But you need to open every hydrant, even though it's on the same line. I know you said you don't really have to do every one, but that valve needs to be,
Exercise.
that valve needs to be working.
And, because that's one thing that, I mean, some of these hydrants, and I was looking at some of the. It was almost like they went to the same 10 hydrants and opened them up
Because it was
every
convenient.
6 months.
It was convenient.
And that's not the proper way, which also made us look into exercising some of the valves that's in the ground. Some of these valves that are in the ground, they are full of mud. They haven't been exercised in a long time, and just a preventive maintenance. I mean, when the weather gets decent, just, it's just something for somebody to do. So, but I'm working on putting together a little laundry list on everything that we're gonna start when the spring comes.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
Hmm?
So I see on here, we were getting some complaints, that our water, was not up to snuff. And I know that you had done some testing, so can you report that to the council, please?
Yeah, so we did, Tammy reach out to, Chesapeake Environmental.
We hit 6 spots around town. We hit them everywhere from Sunset, Boyceville, Greensboro Road, I think Maple, Academy, School, School Street. Because we had a couple of residents where, and mostly we tried. hit
Broad area.
Different parts of the area.
Mhm.
All of them came back very, within range. The total dissolved solids were a little high on that side. That's why we had to flush the hydrants and boost the chlorine up just a little, but they were still within the range. So,
Nothing was outside of drinkable water.
Okay.
we actually got a compliment on some of it. There's some towns that is very, very high, and then there's other towns, you may have a town that has lower numbers, but for right on.
All right, thank you. Anybody have anything else for Brandon? Nope. Why don't you just
I'll go and ask you, remember the sign, no way out?
Going on Wood Duck, going back into the development, we wanted to put a sign back there that there's no exit or whatever the proper terminology is.
Right there, then.
Thank you. Well, I was gonna say it 4 times. Anyway, fire company. Mr. Rick.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Um,
Thank you for being patient.
not a problem. December, we had our elections. I've been elected the president again.
Congratulations.
Chucky DeToro is the vice president, Jim Bruce is the secretary, Kevin Parks is the treasurer, chief is Jim Harvey, assistant chief is Billy Biddle, deputy chief is Frank Davis. Board of directors are, make sure I get this right. Timmy Boyd, Billy Bradley, Russell Sensening, Ken Patton, Frank Davis. Right, we had our meeting on Tuesday night. Our tractor pull is gonna be May the 4th. We'll do it again in September 7th. Those will be the 2 tractor pulls we're doing.
Can we have the times? Because some of them are day and some are night.
No, both of those, we're not doing the benefit one this year.
Okay, so they're all evening ones?
They will all be at 6 P.M.
Okay.
Those will be at 6 P.M. July 9th through the 13th is gonna be the carnival. Fireworks will be the 12th. So we'll be doing the pre-sale bracelets right on night. Then July 26th and 27th, we're gonna do rodeo.
You said 26 and 27.
26th and 27th. Rodeo. It's gonna be Friday night and Saturday night. Man,
Yes,
have you said anything about the festival?
I just told them that the date could change.
Okay.
Did
The
you guys?
cannabis,
The
Canada.
Yeah.
Canvas is out
The
and
Canvas is gonna be May 11th. That's where this organization is basically running our grounds to do it,
Right.
so we won't promote it, okay? I mean, I'm not gonna advertise it on our sign. Okay,
also, if you guys need help advertising any of your events, just let me know.
Oh, yeah,
I'll build
yeah,
some-
yeah.
put everything up there.
Did you guys make the first yet on the?
for bracelets, it's $20.
Pre-sale.
Pre-sale is $20.
cannabis.
You buy them at the booth,
And
they're
they
gonna
say
be
all of
30.
them, they have big winter tents.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything like that.
So, We also-
Regional level, main issue.
We also
Police-
voted Tuesday night to buy a new command vehicle. The vehicle that we have right now is a 2006 Ford Explorer. It only has like 32,000 miles on it, but it's so rusted out underneath, it's unbelievable.
How much is that gonna cost, Richard?
$83,000.
Where is it coming from? From us, the taxpayers?
No.
From donations?
It's gonna come from donations, fundraising. We have some state money that we can utilize specifically for that.
Now, is that upfitted?
That's how,
So that's complete.
yes.
Tahoe,
Uh,
it's a good price.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, anybody here have any new business?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
We're not done yet.
Okay,
Anybody else have any new business?
So there's, I've got something, I noticed at 415 North Academy Street. If you're going north, it's on the left-hand side, we've got a bunch of junk and couches in their front lawn, is that a town code?
Violation. They've already been addressed.
Oh, okay.
I think that they sent a letter, maybe even got a phone.
Did you get the statistics on that? There was over, within the last time, the code violations, there was over 50 violations throughout town.
It says here in the letter, there was 5 citations issued and 60 warnings.
Okay.
Brandon, they was there today getting rid of a lot of that stuff.
All right, thank you. All right, town council remark.
Lennox, thank you for attending the Girl Scouts meeting. They absolutely loved that. I'd like to thank Amanda for all the hard work she's doing to help and get this autism event together. We want to be more inclusive at Over Park by maybe raising funds to add a mommy and me swing to promote eye contact and just socializing between children with disabilities. So I thank you for all you're doing there. And Tammy, thank you for keeping us informed and emails coming, so we know where we are to be prepared for the meeting. And Public Works, great job in the snowstorm. We had no problem getting around and I could get out of the house with all those people, so.
All right, thank you, Christine. Jeff?
I just have one question. The poll that we were supposed to do in reference to the water bill.
Oh, right, I should be able, I didn't do that, yeah, we need to get the words out, I'll do that.
Okay, because I mean, if somebody, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I asked, the council asked if Amanda could put a poll on social media about the water bill. Because everybody knows we're gonna have to raise it. There's no way around it, right? So I'm thinking spread out the payments, spread out the increase, through separate bills. Rich is very aware of that. Instead of doing it all at one time as a shocker. So spread it out, that way it doesn't, hurt you pockets, all at once, but I wanna ask the public how they feel about doing it that way.
My neighbors would not approve of that, because half my neighbors live free in my housing,
Oh.
okay?
That's good.
I just turned over 4,700 properties in this county.
If you want monthly billing, do you have to call in and request that?
Yes, we're going to revamp it would fall under like the payment plan thing, and we'll just do it so that they're due once a month.
Okay, because.
And then more people would be made aware of it and, know that that's an option.
That's it.
I'm good, thank you. I just think with the cold weather we had in January, I think Public Works and everybody did a good job. Everybody seemed to fare well.
He did an excellent job, Brandon, out there in this freezing weather.
So does anybody
So,
else in the public have any?
I wanted to commend the Methodist Church because your soup stuff is still really good. I do, yeah, and we need to put that on you did push it out this time. But we need to continue to do that because the chicken and dumplings are great.
Why can't?
Yeah, they have them at the Methodist Church on Friday.
Once I get nervous if you guys.
Huh?
Oh, I don't want them to.
It was this past Friday. Very good.
And I would like to say that, on February the 13th, that is Shrove Tuesday at the beginning of Lent season, and we are having a pancake supper.
Yep.
From 5 to 7 in Wheatley Hall it's a free will offering.
Yep.
So, please come.
It's a smoky
I'll
mouth.
tell all my neighbors. Where did it
They're
located, man?
At the Methodist Church in Wheatley Hall.
Okay, you tell me about it.
Make sure you make honey on it.
Those are
No.
like the deli donuts on steroids for Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, they always have great sauce in them. Scrapple.
No,
No,
he's talking about some kind of donut.
No. a pumpkin.
No.
I mean,
Where are you getting that?
I don't know, I would like to know, because in Michigan, I
Find out,
don't
let
get
me
them
know.
anywhere.
Find out, let me know.
I don't know where you get it, but I like to know when you find out.
All right, hearing
Somebody
no
made
other,
them?
I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I have something important to say, Mr. Mayor, then I'll leave and join my time.
You got 1 minute,
Could I get up?
1 minute.
Do you guys remember what happened in Goldsboro years ago? The mayor and the treasurer embezzled a lot of money.
That was married
That
out.
was married out.
I'm sorry,
That was married out.
please forgive me.
It's okay.
I want to say, we cannot give that kind of power. I do not know this woman. With a lot of money, it does a lot of things to people. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
And now I have a date, if you don't mind, with my wife at the cemetery.
All right.
And I'm gonna wait for this young lady when I come back. I'll see you all.
Just before you leave, Barry,
Yes, sir.
a second, okay? I just want you to know that I know you respect me.
Yes, sir.
I have every confidence in this lady.
I don't have no
She's
doubt
doing the
about
right thing. So just, you can rest easy.
I understand, but it's not me personally.
I know. I got my eye on her.
When it's around people and that kind of money, Mr. Mayor,
I hear you.
everybody, even the bank manager over 40 years stole millions.
Well, I hope she don't prove me wrong. I don't.
And I got her off with just doing 9 months in prison.
All right, thank you.
I bow to you all.
I look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Hey, Rich had something.
I can see that.
I just had one question. What is being done with 407 West Sunset?
I have a date with my
Next to
wife.
the Baptist church.
I'll see you all.
Who wants to take that on?
Excuse us,
Yes, sir.
we have a question that needs to
Oh,
be
for
answered.
me?
You'll get it right now.
I have a date with my wife at the cemetery. I'll see you all. Bye now.
It's in foreclosure, and it's supposed, unfortunately, anywhere from 90 days to a year.
We think we're getting somewhere for a change, but it's gonna be.
The court actually had posted paper, the
Yeah.
papers, if you look by the front door, papers are on there. They were posted from the court, it had went through the foreclosure process, but
That's slow progress.
she did say it takes up to a year.
And the property owners on West Sunset that have all those junk cars sitting out there. Have been put on notice by our attorney that what they are doing is not within code. And they've got 30 days to remove them, and if not, we're gonna start fining them.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Heard that.
Per day.
Yeah, that was fine.
And that fine will be per day.
Well, then we'll go to court and get permission to remove them.
All right, are we all done?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look for a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Hallelujah.
I did, I motioned it. Second.
Yeah.
Don't pick the name, don't think of a-
I saw you grabbing.
All right.